All right, Chris, over to yourself. You have 15 minutes to cover what you want to cover and then for us to give feedback. So we let you take the lead and then we'll jump in.
Okay, so yeah, I want to talk big news. I want to talk about the huge news in England that marmalade may not allowed to be called marmalade in future. It may have to be called citrus marmalade.
What?
It's big news. Big news in England. It was literally like the second headline on the BBC website was, we may have to call marmalade citrus marmalade because of some EU food agreement.
It's not even been like a slow week news, you know. It's like there's got the Iran thing.
It was above. It was above several things you like. That should not probably be above that, to be honest.
Trying to distract everyone.
But yeah, no, it's because that
will
will get.
work. Like, jam. They will forget
But honestly, that will work in England. That will work in England. You start questioning marmalade, and people are going. It's because
Really?
Paddington Bear marmalade. Marmalade's got so much.
I didn't know it was so big marmalade in England.
I did. But
So did you invented marmalade, basically?
they think they have.
No,
I don't know what we did because it doesn't have. But marmalade is so sort of British, but the ingredients are not. I mean,
yeah, it's Seville oranges.
yes, it's basically it's oranges, lemons, it's citrus fruits, which we can't do.
Taking something from someone else and claim it as your own.
Yeah. They did,
India.
they did-
This is British. Ireland. Well.
I think we invented marmalade because it was the only way to steal fruit from other countries and get it back without it going rotten. I think that was probably
Fine, that's it.
stayed fresh.
This fruit will rot. What should we do? Murder some people and boil it. No, that's fine. That's fine.
So because of the EU, because in the EU, sort of everything is called marmalade in some way.
Or it wasn't until Brexit. Sorry, because I read over your article.
Yeah, so I think I think the British managed to say no, marmalade is
Give us
marmalade.
And the EU, because you're a member of the EU, were like, yeah, we'll give you marmalade.
So then the rest of the EU had to stop using the word marmalade for jam. They had to think of something else. And then after Brexit, they were like, oh, we can use the word marmalade for everything again. And now if Britain wants to do this agreement, the EU is like, no, we're keeping marmalade.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to say citrus marmalade and jam. You can't just say marmalade.
Even though after reading this article, I still don't understand what the difference is between a jam and a marmalade.
Me neither.
Even though I did think of, like, you know, that classic joke, what's the difference between jam and and marmalade? Excuse me.
That is an actual joke?
No.
Oh.
Okay, what's the difference between jam and marmalade? I can't marmalade my cock up your ass.
That's a good one.
And
For the kids at home, that's a good one.
the joke's been around for ages, but I was like, it would be hilarious. I was trying to think of what could the EU regulations be like that they actually wrote in.
Someone actually hates that joke and they're going to go this Brussels process to, no, you're not going to be able to do the joke anymore.
Marmalade, I mean, in England, marmalade is citrus fruits. That's it. That's the distinction. Marmalade was citrus fruits.
Marmalade's only orange citrus.
Lemon, you can have lemon marmalade, I think. I don't know if anyone has it, but you can have lemon marmalade. I think it's because it's shit. But
So what's the difference between a jam? Do you know what the difference is between a jam and a marmalade? No.
I don't know if the process is different, but I mean, basically, yeah, marmalade is citrus, which is not the actual fruit. This is really going to be eating up 5 minutes of time just explaining what marmalade is. But
Okay, if you want, we go back to Paddington Bear because he's Peruvian. Paddington Bear.
Yes.
Not bad.
That's it. Wait, he's
No.
Peruvian. I
He's
knew he was South
Peruvian.
American.
He comes
I knew I didn't trust them.
I didn't want him to make some joke with him because he's Peruvian, but it's like, I don't like it. It's so boring.
he's from darkest Peru.
Exactly, darkest Peru. That sounds like they're trying to be racist, but no, it's like,
Got the wrong
Darkest
nation.
Peru.
It's just like,
yeah.
Oh, I think
No. It's like he's Peruvian. I have nothing on Paddington being Peruvian. I should, but he's Peruvian, and this is the hill he wants to die. Marmalade. What about cocaine? Why not? Okay.
I did have some about Paddington Bear. It's weird that Paddington Bear is a symbol of because I feel like British nationalists will have an issue with changing marmalade, but then also Paddington Bear is a symbol of British nationalism. But Paddington Bear is a immigrant.
Is Paddington Bear a symbol of English nationalism?
oh yes, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
wait,
British is a.
Like the neo, like the skin.
No, I'm not saying the skinheads are into Paddington, but it's Britishness.
Like the skinhead, like Paddington, like they're wearing a Paddington mask, you know.
Really? And why is that? Like, why is
But
that?
I think he's what we would call a good immigrant. You know, he's kind of
expat.
he's integrated into society. He's more British than any of the British people. So he's one of the good ones.
A lot of people don't know this, but Mr. Bean is actually from Madagascar.
Wait, what?
I'm kidding. I should have come with a better country. Madagascar was like, oh shit. He's actually from Russia. I don't know. He's been a spy all this time.
I thought you could have some fun with the. Sorry. Do you want to? Sorry.
No. Give me some ideas.
You could have some fun with. I'm trying to think of the cruel. So Paddington Bear is a national symbol, but sometimes the cruelty and racism of the far right versus the softness of Paddington Bear. I don't know where you could take this, but it's an interesting contradiction. That but kind of what you were saying. Could you imagine a skinhead? Yeah. They have tattoos of Paddington Bear, or they dress up, or they're waving flags of like Paddington Bear, like something where you're trying to take this thing that is quite anti-immigration and sort of holding him up as the symbol of.
I don't want marmalade. Sorry, if we can make this fast, why is Paddington Bear like a symbol of British?
Well, just because it's a very British story. Because basically, I mean, without being funny, the stories are about this very innocent immigrant who gets taken in by British people and shown the British ways and learns
British story.
Learns to be polite and
they civilize him.
Exactly. He was uncivilized.
He comes from Peru and they civilize him.
Okay. They give him
a coat parallel. He is uncivilized.
yeah. Dark Peru. Not white Peru. Dark Peru, of course.
No trousers as well. No trousers is a typical Peru thing.
I wonder what an Irish Paddington Bear would have been like. I feel like
he came from Ireland.
Yeah. Fucking.
That'd be quite interesting. Yeah, we could do a new series of different bears from different countries. Yeah.
That's really.
Bear was actually quite a friendly, lovable bear. I feel like an Irish Paddington Bear would be like he was just like scrawny.
You know, I started watching the movie hoping to get some jokes about he being Peruvian, and he just goes to the house and destroys everything, right? It's like
he's so Peruvian.
He's so dumb and clumsy. Oh, fuck. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not gonna tolerate this for too long. There was nothing about Peru. He was just ruining the house.
Nothing about Peru.
Paddington 3, they go to Peru, eh? So
they go to Peru.
Yeah, and the third film.
Fun.
What else did I have? Feel free to jump in. Sorry, go on.
I got like hooked with this is the problem with me. I got hooked with the language of the note. You know, it's like a lot of check. Oh, you see what I did there?
So let's watch.
Touch computer. So you see what I did there? I just touched it. Okay.
He just touched it and it doesn't like him.
So in quotes, this could be confusing for UK consumers. Yeah, for everybody. It's like you're writing 2 pages of this, and there was like the fruity spread. You know, like instead of marmalade, the problem with the fruity spread is that now it's not funny. The fruity spread. I feel the
fruity spread is
the
fruity spread.
The fruity spread.
Well, the fruity spread.
Yeah. But jars of the fruity spread has been like, I think there's something funny there. But yeah,
I mean, also because it's not a huge. They're also all they're doing is just saying, can you put the word citrus in front of it?
Yeah.
Basically, they're not saying you can't say marmalade anymore. They're just saying, can you say citrus marmalade?
Yeah.
And the company's like, we're going to have to change all our labels. And I'm like, but this is not going to happen until 2027, 2028. So there's. Hopefully you would have used up all your labels before that time, you know what I mean?
Probably got like a stock one of 12 years of labels.
12 years of labels there.
I thought it was interesting that like nothing is really, but on that same idea, nothing is really changed but the wording. But then I don't know if this is funny, but there is something, because people will go to war over the wording, you know? Some of these examples I can't say. The Irish War of Independence, like Empire versus Commonwealth, that's another good British one. We can't call it the Empire anymore, it's called the Commonwealth.
Redacted versus special needs.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you could just have a lot of fun around this idea of like nothing's really changing, but everyone's going to be pissed off.
The whole bureaucracy of Brussels working around this. Who makes this commission? You know, who do you put on the marmalade situation? Then there's a German MIP who had been pushing for a change after Brexit. Told the BBC in 2017 that the name rules were contrary to German linguistic tradition. I imagine this German guy with a sign here like, The word is coming to an end. Mark my words.
Mark my words.
He was, mark my words. He was talking about
What accent was that? That was not German. Jesus, that was the word.
mark my words. I don't know.
Where is that? What?
He's from the south of Germany.
That's the weirdest accent I've ever heard.
There's someone warning about this since almost 90 years ago.
I was thinking as well, you could also do, if they do this with marmalade, what else could be next
Exactly.
of British food items? Because I'm trying to think of things like, okay, if I could take, so it's almost, and there's also this thing, like it's everything is becoming so, I remember George Carlin had a joke where he's like, fucking, in World War One, they were shell shocked.
Yeah, everything's coming shorter.
Everything's getting like more exponential. Citrus marmalade. So
Yeah.
you could like take this thing of the British, like what other things in like toast and so like warmed bread units.
Situation.
Like trying to.
British food items. I think should be a category of itself. Do you have you have marmalade and
Yeah, what else do you have?
what do you have?
We've had, I mean, this story reminds me of the sausage. The sausage was a big, because, I mean, literally, the sausage was a huge thing years
Was
ago.
it British sausage? Yeah.
Wait,
The
what?
British sausage.
But you call it
And this reminds me of the sausage. Yeah, well, banger, but the sausage, I mean, this is why I know this will get big. This will be bigger. Immigration will be small fry if the marmalade issue gets big.
Yeah.
Because,
Wait, what about the British sausage?
well, Europe
Small and
started
shriveled.
telling us that our sausage did not have enough meat.
Oh, now we're talking.
This is really why Brexit happened.
The percent, honestly.
Sausage?
Yeah. So they were hands off our sausage, honestly. I mean, it must have been about 30 years ago. But yeah, they said there's not enough meat in the sausage. There's too much bone and sawdust and all the other stuff that gets into the British sausage. So they were saying we can't call. They were telling us we shouldn't be able to call it a sausage.
Who said that? Europe.
Europe said you
So why did you
can't
have to
classify
call it?
this as a sausage. I don't know what it's called in Europe. In England, we kept it. I think we won the war. But, yeah.
Chorizo, salchicha, I don't know, but I didn't know you put all the bones and the remains
Oh
on your
yeah, it's
sausage.
just all yeah.
Saggy sausage, saggy bangers, I guess.
It's just
I thought it was also kind of, I don't like all these things are a little fun. I don't really have anything hilarious, but more like I thought it was interesting that like the EU was becoming less strict with their rules, and that's what allowed this gap to open for them to be like for what they're going to call marmalade. And the Brexiteers' issue with the EU was that they were so strict they had no power of their own.
Yeah, but that's very British. I think that we want to be very strict on things that don't matter at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very strict on marmalade, but you know, that's
I think you got to keep pulling it back to Brexit and the EU. Isn't it? Like, yeah.
Before
Yeah,
we run out of time, let us know what is your view or your approach.
I mean, my
We can
approach
try
is
and
my ideas. I guess the obvious one is to just on stage be very upset about this and just be like, this is the line. We draw the line here. Also, I got into chutneys because chutney is kind of.
He said that you cannot say chutney. That's racist, Chris.
So chutney is kind of everything. Chutney. There's sweet chutneys. There's fruit chutneys. There's vegetable chutneys.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say.
Oh,
So sorry.
maybe referencing an Asian person.
No, that's you saying that. I just no. I did.
What?
I thought
I said
chutney
Chinese.
was a racial slur. I'm not going to say no.
Chutney.
Chutney. Yeah. It was a joke, guys. I don't have anything in mind. Who is it hot in here?
I'm really worried myself.
Okay,
now.
you said chutney live, so
So
you can
chutney.
keep going.
Chutney is basically everything. So chutney is kind of like gets everything. No, there's no fuss about chutney. You can use onion. You can use oranges. You can make chutney from anything.
you want in there.
So I think just everything should be chutney.
Like the sausage.
And I think that could become that sort of analogy of life. You know, maybe chutney is the solution to all things. We are all
That's hilarious.
we're all chutney.
Chutney is the pansexual of the preserve world.
Yes, I can imagine them. You know, they're like
Everything.
jam and marmalade. Like, what the fuck is this guy
Pizza
coming
mom,
along?
yeah.
Fuck, you can pull it back to gender. Shit, that's really fun. Jam, marmalade, chutney. Yeah.
So I think that's fun. And then that idea, and then the idea we're all chutney as world peace.
This is a chutney you want to see.
We're all chutney.
Really
You know,
chutney.
forget immigration. We're all together chutney.
Get 40 seconds.
Also, I think it's fun to go back to the. I was thinking a lot about the toilet roll issue of that pettiness. So this is like an international version of which way round the toilet paper should hang.
Oh yeah.
Forwards at the front or the back. So I think this is like the international version of that. Just like petty arguments that people are having of, no, it's got to be marmalade, no, it's got to be jam.
And we all know that the roll should go to the front, right?
Yeah.
What?
No, always went to the back. Is it?
I always thought it was a male and female thing, because when I do it, I put the roll at the front, hanging down, so it's like that, and my missus puts the roll at the back, hanging down.
I guess it depends on the side of the bathroom, because sometimes you have to go like this. So where do you want it? Am I the only one with a small bathroom? All right. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, God, that was time, guys.
Time out.
Thank you.
Okay. Like and subscribe to YouTube, all that sort of stuff, we should say, no?
Well, there wouldn't be a subscription or like and subscribe will have popped up at one point, hopefully, during this episode. But please, like, subscribe, comment for anything you think could be a good idea on these topics. Let's wrap up this episode. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.